One of those big challenges that can get in the way for course creators is creating videos and making it easy and efficient. So today I've got some tips for you to make you faster at getting those videos for your courses up and running. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here is your host, Julie Hood.
Hey, oh my goodness, I am so excited to be doing this podcast and to have a normal voice and be able to connect with you. So it's been a really fun beginning of 2023. We did a whole set of workshops last week to introduce people to how they could get connected with their students and putting their courses together. And then this weekend, we're actually going to do the 24-hour Course Creator Intensive. So if you're listening to this later, it's June 13th through the 16th. So if you've been deciding, like, I need to get this course stuff together, this is the perfect time for you to jump in. I'll put the link in the show notes, or you can go to coursecreatorshq.com/intensive. It will have all the information. It's going to be an incredible weekend, 4 hours on Friday, 8 hours on Saturday and Sunday, and then another 4 hours on Monday. Since it's a holiday weekend, I thought it would be perfect for getting your course together, getting that content together. And Valerie did this in November with me, and she said she'd never been focused before in a course. So that is the goal. If you've been having this on your list, let's make sure you don't have create a course on your list for next year. Let's get this thing together. So come join me at coursecreatorshq.com/intensive, and we'll have an incredible creation weekend together. I hope you can jump in. And then today, though, I want to talk about doing video, because I think this is one of those tech things that can really, really get in your way and become one of those challenges that hold you back. So I've got some tips for you in order to make it easier. The first one is create one PowerPoint, or even purchase a PowerPoint theme. Or if you want to use Google Sheets, it's the same concept, or Keynote, or whatever you're using. I use PowerPoint, so that's what I'll be talking about. But put together a theme with the different types of slides that you typically want to use, and then reuse those. And even put a lot of your lessons all in one PowerPoint. Make sure you have backups. But what I do, so you know, because I've been at this for a bit, I will pull up my old presentations and then modify them. So it makes life so much faster than starting from a blank PowerPoint. You know, I've already got a lot of the common slides, like the first slide that's going to have the description of whatever I'm teaching. That's already there. I'll have my intro, hi, I'm Julie Hood slide. That's already there. I have the slide I use to ask about questions. So, and a lot of my content is the same, so I can just copy and paste. It makes it so much faster. So originally, you do have to sit down and get all this created the first time around. But then once you kind of have this template together that you can edit and create and copy, you'll be so much faster. The other suggestion I have for you is to have a light colored slide. Like I'll have a white slide that I use, and then I have a dark colored slide that has my blue branding color. And so I can mix those up. So that makes it a little bit more interesting. And then I also try to have one thought per slide with an image. So in general, that's how I will put my slides together. You do not want one big text slide. Do not do that. Make sure you've got like a concept with an image, however you decide to lay it out. But that has worked really well for me as I was pulling my PowerPoints together and making it quicker and faster. So that's tip number one PowerPoint where you've got your templates and your slides and you kind of copy and paste. Tip number 2 is to have one folder where you put all of the images that you use repeatedly. So I have my Course Creators folder, and every time I go and I get images from Pixabay or I get images from other places, I put them all into that folder with a descriptive name. So sometimes you have to change the names because the names are not how you will think of using them, but have that descriptive name in there. And then when you want to pull up a certain image, it's super easy. So like I use light bulbs a lot. So as I download different light bulb images, I make sure they all have light bulb in the name. And then when I need to find them back, I go up to the search function on my computer and I type in light bulb, and then I get the 5, 6 different light bulb images I have, and I can just pick the one I want and insert it. So PowerPoint has this cool feature that lets you change an image from your device. So it's super fast. I don't have to be resizing as much. You just directly change it to the image that's on your computer. So that also saves me a lot of time. Have all the images in one place, in one folder, and I can change out the images on the PowerPoint. Now, I will tell you, most of the time, your default is that your computer's going to download either to your desktop or download to your download folder. And you can turn that off. So just Google how to turn off automatic downloads, and you want to be able to direct and say which folder things are going into. You will be so much more organized that way. You don't want them defaulting, and then you end up with this like messy desktop with all these images that you've downloaded and all these different files. No. Like, let's be organized, download them to the right place into folders right off the bat, and you'll be way ahead of a lot of the folks that are out there. Okay, tip number 3, and this is kind of a long one, but I want you to find your best way to record and your best way to edit. So maybe you're going to do some minor editing by yourself, or maybe some major editing, but if you can possibly afford it, I highly recommend checking out Fiverr or one of those Upwork, those kinds of websites, so that you can find somebody else to do editing, because it's so time consuming. It is not a good way for you to be spending your time. There's so many better things you can be doing, but if you need to do a little tweaking here and there or cutting out, you do want to have the software handy so you can do some kind of editing. So when you're picking out software, you'll need something that you can record with and something that you can edit with. So I'm going to walk through some of my favorite tools. Once again, all these links will be in the show notes, coursecreatorshq.com/128. Some of them are affiliate links of mine, so if you're interested, you can go check them out and purchase them. So first one is Loom for recording and hosting your videos. They have a free version that gives you 5-minute videos and a few videos that you can host, and then they have a paid version where you can have longer videos and more videos. So what's great about that is you can record directly from your browser. So especially if you're doing some kind of screen sharing, showing people how to do stuff, that can be fantastic. Second one for recording, Zoom is fantastic. If you've done anything in Zoom, you kind of know how it works. You get on, you hit record. You can be recording your screen, or you can be just your face on the screen. So Zoom can be fantastic for the recording side of things. Camtasia is another tool that it works on both PCs and Macs. It lets you record the screen, and you can have yourself, your webcam on the screen. It also does some really good editing. It is kind of pricey though, just FYI. So that's the tool that I use that I really like. It gives me lots of options, and I use it when I need to do some heavy duty editing. ScreenFlow is just for Macs, and it is for editing and recording, and my Mac friends have loved it. It is a paid tool, but they really like it. There's also a couple more tools on the Mac that you might be able to use, iMovie, and some of those built-in tools, QuickTime. Play with them because they may or may not have all the features you need as you're trying to work on your videos. But I just want to mention them so you know about it. And then the last editing tool I will tell you about is Movavi, Movavi, and it also does editing, and it's much more inexpensive. So what I ended up doing was I bought a license for my VA so that she can do Movavi, and I will send her a video and say, hey, cut out this part in the middle. I want to turn this into a lesson, or can you edit this out for me? Take out this part. And so that's another way to have some tools a little bit more inexpensive. Okay, so that's tip number 3, is figuring out what am I going to use to record and edit my videos. And then tip number 4 is to decide if you want or if you need captions. So this can be a really complicated piece of the puzzle. For a while, I had one of my assistants manually inserting captions into my videos, and it was time consuming and frankly not really worth it for as much time as it took for her to manually do that. So you want to figure out a way that you can get the captions a little bit easier. And this is kind of advanced. Some of you, don't let this hold you up from launching your course. You can launch your course without captions. But if you decide that, hey, this is something important, it would be great to have for my audience, maybe that has some hearing issues, then I use this incredible tool called Searchy, and you can find out more at coursecreatorshq.com/Searchy. And what it does, a couple different things. First, it lets me automatically get captions inserted at the right time. So that is a huge, huge time saver and money saver from having to have that done by an editor. It also hosts my videos for me. So that's fantastic. Because in case you guys didn't know, you're not supposed to put YouTube videos behind a paywall. So YouTube videos are supposed to be public and viewable, or they can be unlisted, but they're not supposed to be paid to see them. So that is in their terms of service. I don't know if they're actively pursuing that, but just a heads up. So I use Searchy to host my videos for me. Those of you who have Kajabi, it also hosts videos for you. It doesn't necessarily do the captions, but it hosts the videos for you. And then the other thing that's really cool about Searchy is it has this option to record from your Chrome browser. So you can write off, instead of having to upload and download and all that kinds of things, if you can get it without having to have a lot of editing needed. I've done some videos in Searchy where I just record directly from the browser, and then it loads it into Searchy, it adds the captions, and I don't do any editing. That's the one piece that you don't really get from Searchy, but you get those captions and you can record directly from your browser. So that was tip number 4, was figuring out whether or not you're going to really worry about the whole caption things. And then tip number 5 is to know the outcome of every lesson that you're creating before you start. So you want to map out your lessons, know what you want people to get from the lesson, and you can kind of see the full picture then of how they all fit together and how they build on themselves, because that will also help you figure out what type of video you need. Because maybe you just need a talking head video. Maybe it's something where people can just see your face and you don't need to do anything else. Or maybe you want to do it as a screen share where you're doing a voiceover. Or maybe you need to actually be doing a PowerPoint and then you're voicing over that. Or maybe you don't even need video at all and it can just be an audio lesson, because your students probably would like that they can just listen and kind of not have to watch the screen. So as the course creator, you need to decide what's the best format for my students. Like, how are they going to learn this the best? And it's probably some mix of all of those, but make sure before you get started into recording that you've actually sat down and kind of thought about, this is the purpose of this video and this is the type of video that makes that work the best. And then tip number 6 is maybe you don't need video at all. And be okay with that. I have a course that I do that does not have video, and it's okay. It still works really well. So don't feel like you have to do video in order to have an online course. You may not need to. All right. So those 6 quick tips, I'll share them again. First one is to have one PowerPoint so you can copy and paste the different slides, and it makes you more efficient creating your lessons. Number 2 is to have one folder where you've got all your downloaded images and name them really well. Number 3 is to find your best way to record and edit, whichever the tools will work best for you. Tip number 4 is to decide whether or not you need captions. Tip number 5 is to know the outcome of the lesson so you know what type of video. And tip number 6 is maybe you don't need video at all. All right, so I hope you got a few ideas on how to be more efficient. I'm very big on let's make this as easy and efficient and how quickly we can do what we need to get these courses created. So come join us for 24-hour Course Creator Intensive this weekend at coursecreatorshq.com/intensive. I'd love to have you. We're going to have a really incredible weekend of clicking through all the steps of getting our content together for the next course. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for following and subscribing and reviewing and sharing this podcast with your friends. I really, really appreciate it. I want you to have an incredible 2023. Let's make this the year where you have the most profits ever. How about that? So thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Have an amazing week, and we'll catch you on the next episode.